Okay.
It sounded like you were doing breathing exercises, but I know you were vaping.
Yes.
Me, 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 me. All right, here we go.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burn in my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I'm here in California, unfortunately. And he is Denton. He is there in Alabama. And somehow, through the modern technology we have in this world today, we are coming into your ears.
Amazing. We have all this technology, yet the country has fallen to hell apart. Now, how is this happening? I have no idea.
Because everybody's too busy looking at technology.
I reckon so. They're too busy doing that and not learning anything. And they're worried about how they feel. Anyway, what's going on over there?
Feels is very important.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Logic.
No, it's how I feel.
Okay. How do you feel?
Like the Seven Dwarfs. Today is grumpy.
That's right. You hurt your back.
Yeah, I was carrying the little one around and I did something stupid. I went to pick something up, and when I did, I twisted and I went, oh, that was not a good idea.
Anybody over 25 years old knows that is not a good idea.
Well, in my mind, I'm under 25.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that the last time I went paintballing.
Yeah, that'll do it to you, too.
Yeah, it taught me that, the memory's still there, the body's not.
Yep. Well, luckily, I don't vote like a 25-year-old.
That's a good thing, or you'd be a libtard. Oh, that was wrong.
I know. How dare you, sir, call names?
Well, I get called a name. I'm told because I'm white, I'm racist.
Well, you are racist. And well,
I don't even...
No, you have more things than that going against you. You're white, you're Christian, and you live in Alabama, so you are automatically racist.
I'm not a racist. I don't even have a fast car. It's not fair. If I was a racist of my car, I'd be Kyle Petty. Anyhow, what kind of good information do you have for us this week, sir?
Well, I was going to start with something else, but since you just mentioned Kyle Petty, what about NASCAR banning the Confederate flag?
Well, they've lost a lot of their people.
I was going to say, I am not a NASCAR guy. I occasionally catch it every once in a while, but I'm not a big NASCAR guy. But when I heard that, I went, oh, you guys are making a big mistake.
Well, I dropped out of NASCAR several years ago when, and I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't even one of my favorite drivers, but he got black flagged for aggressive driving. So bad, boy. It was bad enough with the, and I agree with the Hans devices. That makes sense. But the soft walls, the very first thing was the restrictor plates. Mm-hmm. If your car will do 569 mile an hour around that track, go for it, boy. If you die, you die.
Yeah, that's up to you.
That's what racing's all about. So restrictor plates and then the safety walls. Okay, no, a wall should teach you a lesson. But they did that. Hans devices, that's fine. And then I think it's one of the Harvard boys that got dinged for aggressive driving.
Well, the wall taught Dale Earnhardt a lesson.
Sure did, but the Hans device would have helped him a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that wasn't a really bad hit. He just wasn't prepared for it,
Nope.
But now the rebel flag, really. Where did NASCAR come from? It came from the South, bootleggers. Now, if a bootlegger is not an outlaw, a rebel, what is? And now they're saying, well, no more Confederate flags. All right. Well, anybody who's part of the South, if you're part of the heart of Dixie, and you're still watching that corporation, because it's a corporation.
Yeah.
Right. I got a better idea. Get out of watching the corporation, and why don't you go down to your local racetracks, and whether it's drag strip or whatever. If you're into racing, you're into cars, Do it locally. Don't worry about that corporation.
Those local ones are a lot more fun anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I think about it. That's coming from a boy from Alabama.
And NASCAR, let me fill you in on something. There are rappers that are black that have the Confederate flag on the cover of their albums. Little John being one of them.
Did I tell you about the story of my first duty station in the Army?
No, please entertain me with your story, because I want this show to go for an hour and 20 minutes.
I want to do this really quick. My first duty station has 3 people to a room, right? In my little corner there, I put up the Confederate flag. I'm from Alabama. Didn't think nothing of it. You know, one of my roommates is black. He grew up until his teens in Mississippi. Then they moved to Indiana. Mm-hmm. Well, one morning, my commander comes in, company commander, and starts yelling at me. I'm asleep, and he's yelling at me before I'm even awake yet. So I stand at attention, and he's yelling at me about the Confederate flag. Well, around the corner comes my other roommate, who's black from Mississippi, starts explaining to the company commander that he's from Mississippi, and that's his flag too, and if he doesn't like it, he can get out. Now, I'm thinking we're both going to get smoked over this. Well, the commander got out. Okay, so, you know, this is not a black and white thing. This is people looking for reasons to be incensed and indignant thing.
Yeah, well, a solution looking for a problem.
Right.
Okay, but take it this way. If your other roommate would have been a white guy who came in and said the same thing, you guys probably would have got smoked.
Probably would have. But he was from way up north.
Where was your white privilege there? There was none.
White?
Obviously, there was black privilege because he gave that guy a pass because he was black for talking to him like that.
You know, come to think of it, the commander was black too.
Oh, all right. Well, then maybe he was like, all right, cool.
Wow, this is multifaceted.
It is.
And because of our white privilege, we don't understand how it is.
I'm sure we don't.
So.
All right, you ready to get into this?
Yeah. Are we rolling?
Yeah, of course we are.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is the show.
For what it's worth.
Okay, well, with everything going on these days, I mean, you got the rioters, you got the looters, and whether you agree with them or not, whatever, I mean, you could get yourself into a very sticky situation. You know, I mean, cops are being told to stand down, or they're being disbanded, or whatever. So you may have to defend yourself. And obviously, the Second Amendment gives you the right to defend yourself, but for the most part, in your home.
No, the Declaration of Independence explains more of it, but yeah, okay, well, let's run with that. Sure.
Well, just like in California, for sure, I can carry a gun all around my home, much as I want, but as soon as I step onto the street, unless I have a concealed carry license, I'm busted. Well, if I'm out at the store getting something and I can't carry, I mean, I can because I do have a concealed carry license, but if I'm out there with my family and the protesters decide to ramshackle CVS while I'm in there, and they're coming at me and my family, there's nothing I can do because I'm not allowed to have a gun, right?
Right.
So you would think in these times that the Supreme Court would want to maybe take up a few of the cases that are sitting there waiting for them to decide on, but no. Supreme Court Justices Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh on Monday admonished their fellow justices for letting Second Amendment cases languish in the lower courts in a dissent to the tribunal's decision not to take up gun right cases. The last major court case to decide gun right issues were McDonald v. Chicago and DC v. Heller, both of which came out more than a decade ago. Kavanaugh and Thomas in the case of the ATM service worker who takes care of machines in high-crime areas, which is what I was just kind of talking about, but was told by New Jersey that is not a good enough reason for him to have a permit to carry a handgun, accused their fellow justices of ambivalence to potential violations of Americans' constitutional rights to bear arms. Let's see. Oh, okay, this goes on for a little while, but I'll skip down here. Rule 10, which discusses what the court takes into consideration when deciding to hear a case, says the court is likely to step in when a United States Court of Appeals has entered a decision in conflict with the decision of another United States Courts of Appeal on the same important matter. And it would seem that there's a lot of cases right now that have done exactly that, and yet they said, yeah, we're not going to deal with it. Now,
So if you're an American, well, if you're anybody in the United States, and we believe that you have individual rights protected by the government, given by God to protect yourself, the Constitution has not taken up the cases to back that up.
well, yeah, the Supreme Court's deciding that, no, we're not going to take them up. Now, I don't know. School me on this. If they decide to not take it up, that means it reverts back to the last ruling, right?
Correct.
So even if it's a bad ruling, it goes back to that.
Because the Supreme Court is a bunch of cowards.
They are, and I'm wondering, and here's the question I pose, and I kind of think I already know your answer, but I'm wondering if just because of the times we're in, I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but just the mood of the country, I guess, they decided, this probably isn't a good time. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think that the Supreme Court is a political animal. I mean, look at Neil Gorsuch.
Oh.
Appointed by a Republican president, claimed to be a constitutionalist. He's going to rule the correct way, but he is a liberal. He is. He lied to get the job because he wanted the job. Okay, but he is falling in with the damn liberals. I don't know why, unless he thinks that the liberal rags out there called the press are going to write glowing reviews for him. I don't know, but no, you don't look for to the Supreme Court for constitutional rulings anymore.
It seems that way on a lot of things, that's for sure.
So I don't think it's because of today's climate. I think it's the direction that the government in general is trying to drive us. It's away from the Constitution.
Yeah, it would seem that way. I mean, in every other facet of government, it seems it's going that way. So I don't see why the Supreme Court wouldn't be the same way.
Yeah, you got a couple. You got Alito, you got Clarence Thomas leading the way. But they are just, they're voices in the dark.
Yeah. It is really sad because even the Republicans aren't doing the job they should be doing. So we've got the three branches of government. It seems like Trump is the only one trying to do right by we the people, even though he doesn't always get it right.
Well, he's gotten it right more than I thought he would. Because, okay, he builds buildings and that kind of stuff. He's pro-American, but I don't know that he ever read the Constitution. Whatever he knows seems to be just inherent.
Yeah, he definitely has a good what do you call it? Sixth sense sort of feeling. He gets a feeling about something and he sort of goes with it for better or worse.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to articulate it worth anything, and he doesn't know how to make it happen.
Well, you know what? I will take 10 presidents that don't know how to articulate over one that gives me BS.
You don't want a statesman that's against us.
No, I do not.
Well, I agree.
So, yeah, this gun stuff is kind of BS, but we could rattle on about that all night. What makes you say that the justices aren't doing their job?
Well, do you know what sex is?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay, well, 1964, Title VII bars job discrimination because of sex.
Well, I better study up on this.
Yeah, that's 1964. Well, so you can't fire somebody just because it's a woman. Okay, a woman.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, the Supreme Court ruled Monday that a landmark civil rights law protects LGBTQXYZ people from discrimination in employment, a resounding victory for weirdos' rights from a conservative court. The court decided 6-3 vote that the key provision of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, known as Title VII, that bars job discrimination because of sex, among other reasons, encompasses bias against LGBT workers. Now, let's think about it. We've got Roberts, Alito, Gorsuch,
Kavanaugh. Sotomayor.
No, she's liberal. The Republicans.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just naming everybody off.
There's 4. Do we have another? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm ignorant on this. My bad. However, speaking of which, Republican, and this is a quote from one of them, an employer who fires an individual for being homosexual or transgender fires that person for traits or actions it would not have questioned in members of a different sex. Sex plays a necessary and undistinguishable role in the decision, exactly what Title VII forbids. Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote for the court. Neil.
Well, you know what? I kind of agree with that.
There are 2 genders, male and female.
No, okay. Here's my thing. I sort of agree with that, because if you are how do I phrase this?
Confused? Mentally ill?
Well, yeah, whatever the case. Okay, let me put it this way: if a company hires you knowing you're gay or a transgender, and then they fire you for that, yeah, they shouldn't be able to do that because they already knew you were. Now,
okay, but what if they didn't know that?
Okay, well, there you go. If they hire you not knowing that, and then it comes to light in some negative way that affects the company, then yeah, you should still be able to fire them.
In some negative way.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's like a gay guy prancing around and being, well, okay.
Flamboyant?
Yeah, there's some gay people that you would never have any idea. It's just like a regular person next to you. And then there's the ones that have to play it up and be all, hello, yes, love everyone, blah, blah, whatever. That's a bad gay impression. But if like, okay, say you hire the guy and he's just like a normal dude, and then one day he starts coming in Liberace coats and throwing flowers everywhere or whatever, like Rip Taylor, then yeah, he's disrupting your company and you should be able to fire him. But I mean, if he came into the job, and even like I agree with you that like transgender people are mentally ill, but if they came to the job and you fully know it's a dude and he's dressed as a chick and you're like, no, that's cool, I'll hire you. And then you do, and then you fire him for being that, then yeah, you shouldn't be able to fire him for being something you already knew he was.
And let's make it perfectly clear, because I know everybody thinks I'm from Alabama, therefore I'm a bigot. No. If you're a homosexual, I expect you to get a job and earn your keep too. Okay, we got some at work. They do a good job. Not a problem. We're kind of busy out there, so they don't have time to be prancing. Okay?
I'm fixing the helicopters. So much fun. We are
As a matter of fact, there's a little story here.
We are so getting taken off of YouTube and iTunes.
I went to Arby's in Dothan. Okay. One of the Arby's. And went through. I like the Arby's sauce. All right. So the wife and I, we went to the, outside, we drive through and we made an order and everything. And the guy comes up, would you like some Arby's sauce? I said, sure, please. I got half a bag of Arby's sauce, man. I think it's still got some from that day in the refrigerator.
That's where everybody sticks it and they never use it. Arby's sauce is good, but you stick it in the fridge and you forget about it and you never use it.
Yeah, so, it's no big deal. I mean, yeah, change your ways before you go to hell, but until then, extra Arby's sauce is a great thing. However...
I thought you were going to tell the guy, yeah, as long as it's not freshly squeezed.
No. Look, I figure they got enough problems as it is. I don't need to harass them about it. But Justice Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas, they're your 3 strong horses, dissented. The court tries to convince readers that it is merely enforcing the terms of the statute, but that is preposterous. Even as understood today, the concept of discrimination because of sex is different from discrimination because of sexual orientation or gender identity. This is what Alito wrote in his dissent. And it was joined by Thomas. There's a difference between male and female, and I'm male thinking I'm female, thinking I'm a pomegranate. Okay.
Well, and when it comes to this, because there are a lot of people that argue with you about this, but if I came into a job interview, I think I've used this analogy before, but if I came into a job interview dressed like George Washington, telling you that I am George Washington, you would think I'm nuts. But I could fully believe that I'm George Washington, but I'm not.
But could you get the job done? Could you lay the brick like you're supposed to?
Well, I mean, obviously, if I think I'm George Washington, I mean, like, truly think I'm George Washington, I have a mental health problem. So, who knows if I could or not? I mean, it's hard to say whether you could or not because, one day you think you're this, the next day you think you're something else. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. We've got a strict dress policy at work, and...
Yeah, I saw that by the picture you sent me the other day where you guys are smoking.
Never mind that. I could get somebody in trouble. The whole explosive sign right there. Anyway,
yeah.
A lot of them if you got them. But are you being disruptive? Okay, you're trans-testicle. Fine. Can you put fries in the bag for me?
I would hope so because that's pretty easy for anybody to do.
Yeah. Can you lay the brick for me? Can you fix an aircraft? But are you being disruptive? Are you intentionally being disruptive? This ruling right here says that you can be disruptive and not get fired.
Yeah, it does kind of put up a safety net sort of thing.
Yeah, it's hard enough trying to get somebody fired as a piece of crap nowadays anyway. Nowadays, you try to fire anybody, you're looking for a lawsuit because this is the most litigious time that we've ever had.
Well, I mean, it does make things more difficult, but if you were going to fire that person, I don't think you would come out and say, oh, well, you're transgender, so we're firing you. You would just say, we're firing you because you suck at your job.
And they're going to fall back on, well, it's because I'm a man with breasts and a skirt.
Well, but you know what? I mean, that's what a lot of people do. And I don't even know if I want to go into this, but a lot of African-American black people, oh, you're hassling me because I'm black. It's like, no, I'm hassling you because you suck at your job.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a safety net there, too. I mean, certain people have learned that they can just throw that out there. Oh, it's because I'm Mexican. Oh, it's because I'm this. It's because I'm that. It's like, no, it's because you suck at your job.
But nowadays, you have to really work your butt off to prove that they suck at the job. Because they have what, like you said, a safety net. They have that barrier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they talk a lot, especially recently, about white privilege, but very rarely can we throw out, oh, you're firing me because I'm white.
Well, I'd like to see you beat that. I'd like to see you win that.
No, well, I mean, they would say the exact same thing as they would say to anybody else. They say, no, we're firing you because you suck at your job. The only thing is we don't have that barrier or safety net that sort of helps us out.
Yeah. All right, we better move on because we're going to run out of time.
We are.
We are what?
We're going to run out of time.
Oh, yeah, eventually we're all going to die. And you're going to run out of drink.
I am. Getting down there. My back's feeling better, though.
Feet's taking pills.
Do you want to do the Wikipedia comparison I was telling you about?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay, so with everything going on these days, everybody knows about Chaz or CHOP. That's the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone or Capitol Hill Occupied Protest in Seattle, where they've taken over 6 blocks of a town and they're running amok.
I was reading an article where they said they should have been called CHUD, children something other, but yeah.
Well, I was just watching, this is a very interesting video. I was watching a video somebody took where they were walking around handing out long guns to people. And they were asking them, are you 18 or above? And this kid that did not look 18 said, oh yeah, sure I am. So they handed him an AR and he had no clue what he was doing with it. And the guy's like, oh, well, well, the guy said, can you take the clip out? And there you go.
The clip?
There's your first problem. But
he should have been shot for saying that.
Yeah. But then he tried to as he pointed it at the cameraman, not knowing he was pointing it at him, and they're like, hey, put that thing down. And it was like, oh my God, I could just see somebody getting shot.
So they're going to kill themselves before we get a chance to do anything about it.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of shenanigans going on there. Anyway, I found this and I thought it was kind of funny. Okay, this is from Wikipedia, and this is sort of the way the media is doing it, because the media is a bunch of liars, whores, and thieves. Okay, here's Wikipedia. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, CHAZ, or Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, CHOP, also known as Free Capitol Hill, is an occupation, protest, and self-declared autonomous zone in Capitol Hill neighborhood of Seattle, Washington. The zone, covering approximately 6 blocks and a park, was established on June 8th, 2020 by George Floyd protesters after the Seattle Police Department vacated its East Precinct Capitol building, which I'm pretty sure they were told to leave. I don't think they wanted to vacate it, but they were told. So,
yep.
After 2 or 3 nights of people throwing urine at them and setting the place on fire. Anyways, that's how it's written. It sounds kind of like, oh, that's nice. They're out there protesting and they're doing something. Okay, well, do you remember a few years ago, 2016 or so, when some people took over a ranger wildlife refuge office in Oregon?
We're talking about the Bundys when the interior, what is it called? Interior management or whatever, was trying to run them off their own property.
Yes, it's called the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in Harney County, Oregon. But this, so you remember what I just read. Now, this is the same thing on Wikipedia about this. On January 2nd, 2016, an armed group of far-right extremists seized and occupied the headquarters of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in Harney County, Oregon, and continued to occupy it until law enforcement made the final arrest on February 11th, 2016. Their leader was Amon Bundy, I don't even know how to say his name, Bundy, who participated in 2014 Bundy standoff at his father's Nevada ranch. Other members of the group were loosely affiliated with non-governmental militias and the Sovereign Citizen movement. Now, do you see how how things get worded, even though it's kind of the same thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's somewhat semi-constitutional, if it's individual liberty, bad. It's communistic, anarchistic, good.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to go with that. I just thought the juxtaposition between the two was kind of funny, so just thought I'd throw it out there, let people think about it.
Well, that's kind of important what you're saying there, because everything you read is being filtered through bias, liberal bias, communist bias, anarchist bias, anti-constitution bias, anti-liberty bias.
And the most important thing to all of that is not how the media is supposed to be.
No, they're supposed to give us the information straight up, and then we make up our own minds.
Yep.
Well, look here. I think we're proving that the world's gone crazy.
Wait. Are you done with your stories?
No, I'm not done.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I got one more, but I thought you were getting ready to end. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's a weird news one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here's some more crazyism. Okay, and you live close to Disneyland.
Well, I work closer to it, but yeah, I'm in the same general area.
Yeah, and I've been to Disney World a couple of times. I'll never go back again, but, and I think some of this is, I don't recall this, but anyway, both Splash Mountain and Song of the South began trending on Twitter on Wednesday. Yeah, you know where it's going.
I know where it's going.
And a Change.org petition demanding the ride be rethemed is quickly going viral. Been around for how long? Anyway, social justice warriors have now shifted their focus to targeting Splash Mountain, one of the most popular rides at Walt Disney World in Florida, Tokyo Disneyland, and at Disneyland in California. Despite popularity of the rides, social media users are obsessed with political correctness, are demanding that the ride be rethemed because it is apparently has ties to racism.
Yes, it's racism.
What I do? The amusement park ride is based on the controversial 1946 Disney film Song of the South. as it includes characters from the movie like Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, Brer Fox. Oh my gosh, we've got to do something about them Brers.
No, don't forget the tar baby.
Oh yeah. The movie has been widely criticized in modern times for the way it depicts blacks and the post-Civil War South. Okay, so you can't even say zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My gosh.
Well, and again, here's the problem with this. It was depicting. It was a timepiece movie about something that happened in the past. So you don't want it to be accurate. I mean, that would be like going back to, I don't know, World War I and saying, "Oh well, we don't like the way that this happened, so we're going to change it." It's like, no, show it how it was.
HBO pulled
Gone with the Wind.
My first wife made me watch. Let me tell what.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Gone with the Wind because I heard they've been targeting that too.
Every freaking year. For 4 miserable years, I was married to that wench. I had to sit down and watch Gone with the Wind. I mean, it was great. The first time, great movie. Second time,
it's like a 9-hour movie too.
Yeah. You know, good movie the second time. Third time, I'm going out and changing the oil in the cars, okay? Leave me alone. But, you know, they pulled it because, oh my gosh, it is so offensive. It's offensive? How is that offensive? If you have no clue about history, if you're just a thumb-sucking piece of shit, okay, I can see how it's offensive. If that be the case, pull your thumb out of your mouth and get out and live a little bit. Do a little research, live a little bit in history, and figure things out. Quit being so sensitive and looking for reasons to be outraged. But these people right now are and I'm against Disney, period, because they've gone so far left. But Zippity Doodah is now offensive.
Well, and if you want to be offended by something, be offended by everything. Because there's also something I was just looking at the other day that I've known about, but I was just looking into it more. There was the Barbary Coast, the Barbary slave trades, which were white people who were taken from Europe and from Spain and other areas and traded into slavery by black people. But nobody ever talks about that. And
that's because the white folks had it coming to them.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's just another dark piece of our history. People have been doing this to each other for eons.
Ever?
Yes, since the beginning of time. Tribes have been enslaving other tribes. I mean, that's just the way it was. Nobody thinks it's a good thing, but it happened. And if we don't talk about it, it can happen more.
And this isn't even about race. Okay? If it were about race, would not we be worried about what's going on in Chicago every freaking night?
Well, people should be worried about it.
Homework and gets killed by a stray bullet because a bunch of thugs are out there shooting at the place.
Yeah, people should worry about that. That's what they should be focusing on, because that right now, that is the crisis of the moment. That's happening now. All these statues and things that happened in the past, sure, we can talk about it and try to find ways to do things better than we did in the past, but right now, there are little kids, like you just mentioned, doing their homework at home, little black kids, and a bullet comes flying through the wall and kills them. That is a crisis. That needs to be dealt with right now. But nobody wants to deal with it.
No, they don't want to talk about that because it's a narrative. We're living in a narrative right now, which is to destroy this country. But, and I'm not saying this is funny. Well, I don't know. No, I'm not.
You're not saying it's funny, but you're going to chuckle a little bit.
I'm not saying this is funny, but sometimes when this kind of stuff happens, you have to sit back and go, A Black Lives Matter activist who told black protesters to remember that white racists are their enemy and said that white people need to realize their effing privilege. Bitch, let me tell you, well, I can't tell you, you're dead now. My privilege was to grow up in a family that didn't have a bunch of money, graduate high school, and then go into the United States Army, okay, like a lot of poor Southerners do. We graduate high school, or sometimes don't, and then we join the armed service because guess what? They'll take us, and we get fed. We got 3 hots and a cot. All right? Don't give me nothing about dadgum white privilege. I have the privilege of working my ass off every day. Thank you very much. Anyway, realize their white privilege, was found dead in Tallahassee this week, and police have a black man in custody in possible connection to her murder. I'm going to try, just out of fun, to pronounce this name of this woman who is dead. She was 19 years old, and the name is, I love this, she's 19, and she's going to tell me about my white privilege. A 56 freaking year old man. She's going to tell me about what I am.
Get off my lawn.
She has no, yeah, she ain't got a clue what she is. But her name is Oluwatoyin Salau.
Okay.
I'm not making this shit up. Had previously reported on Twitter that she had been sexually assaulted by 2 different black men before going missing amidst ongoing Black Lives Matter protests in Florida. Video footage from the protests shows Salau giving a free speech in which she says, "First off, I want all white people to realize their effing privilege. Wherever the F I go, I am profiled. Look at my effing hair. Look at my skin, bruh." She must have been drunk. So I'm a die about it. I'm a die by my effing skin. You cannot take my effing blackness away from me. My blackness is not for your effing consumption, nigga.
Had to throw that in at the end, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm just reading it, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of black guys molested her and killed her.
So she made
It's because of my white privilege this happened.
Well, I mean, if you want to bend and snake around and everything, then you could definitely come up with an argument that it's your fault because those 2 guys that molested her and killed her, well, because of our white privilege, they have been held down, so they didn't know any better.
They didn't know right from wrong any better because I went to the United States Army, and then I got job after job after job when I got out.
Well, what's your problem when you can't hold a job?
I don't know what I want to do in my life.
Oh, all right.
Now, I finally got so old, well, where I'm at is where I'm at now. Okay, so this is the world has gone crazy. People who are being harmed by their own people are yelling that I am harming them. When all I do is go to work, pay taxes, go to sleep, wake up, eat breakfast, go to work, come home, rinse, wash, repeat. But somehow I am the bad guy because I'm a white Christian conservative in Alabama.
You just don't know, man. You don't know. The struggle's real.
The struggle. Yeah. Okay. That's what I say every time I try to go down the highway nowadays. These retards that don't know how to drive. This struggle is, in fact, real, but it has nothing to do with color.
No, it has to do with idiots.
Man, they're everywhere. Now, here's another one. This is from PJ Media. I haven't been saying where these other places are from, but I delete them as I'm done with them, so I can't even tell you where the other articles were. HuffPost wants to cancel black celebrities who speak out against riots and destruction.
All right, you lost me at Huffington Post.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you. Cancel culture has ratcheted into high gear in the wake of the George Floyd riots, with a soccer player getting fired for his wife's tweet, a church losing its lease over a pastor liking supposedly insensitive tweets, and New York Times op-ed editor James Bennett stepping down amid outrage that he published an op-ed by a U.S. senator. What was that guy's name? Anyway, you remember, it was last week's news. Anyway, HuffPost Taryn Finley apparently wants to redirect cancel culture against damn it, I didn't mean to touch that button. Black celebrities who refuse to toe the line on the left's race narrative. Okay, so now if you're a black celebrity who is not with Black Lives Matter, they're wanting to cancel them. They want to cancel their profession. They want to get them out of where they're at.
Well,
so if you don't do as you're told by your liberal Mazza, you're no longer going to be able to work.
Well, I was just going to say, isn't that discrimination? They're firing them or getting rid of them because of the color of the skin. I mean, they have a different color of skin and a different opinion, so they're getting rid of them for both.
Well, yeah, because they're blacks who are not towing the liberal line. Therefore, they're Uncle Toms, or what's a feminine version of Tom? Doesn't matter, because you can just cross the gender line as you want. Anyway, so they are even worse than me. So they must be gotten rid of.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so no, it's not racism. It's just trying to get people on board the right way.
That Candace Owen, my God, do people hate her?
Yeah, but she's right 99.9% of the time.
No, I agree. She's a smart cookie, but wow, just the venom that comes out of the left when she says anything.
Well, I don't think she minds. As a matter of fact, I think Candace looks at it as battle scars, and she's very, very proud of that. Now, and that, again, we always think that the youngins are stupid. Here Candace Owens is. She's a young black woman who was spot on. And she's been attacked by the left every freaking day, and she does not even give two rips. Now, how come the rest of us aren't that tough?
Yeah, I commend her for sticking to her guns, that's for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, it just irritates me that, you got this, what's that guy, Robert De Niro. I used to love his movies. Now I can't stand watching his movies because he's a piece of crap.
That little turd burglar.
Yeah, and he opens his mouth every third day about Trump. And he's heralded. The way I look at it, I don't care. You're an entertainer. Just entertain me. Shut your mouth. James Woods, conservative entertainer. Again, the way I look at these people, shut up and entertain me. I agree with you. I don't agree with you. I see you as nothing more than a puppet.
Dance
Okay.
for me, monkey, dance.
Right. Wait, monkey?
Well, they're both white. I can call them monkeys.
Okay. But I don't care if you are conservative. I still don't want to hear your opinion, because I expect you just to entertain us. Don't make anybody feel alienated, because you aren't you're brain dead. Elsewise, you wouldn't be an entertainer.
Well,
but if you're going to herald him, say, look how great this guy is. Then don't try to trash black entertainers that are given their conservative viewpoints, or else you're a damn hypocrite.
Well, how about all the entertainers in general, whether you're conservative or liberal, just go to work, say your lines, make your tons of money, and then when you go to your little cocktail parties and your little rap parties after the movie's over, then you guys can, amongst yourselves, you can talk about how much you hate Trump and how much this should happen and that should happen. But other than that, just entertain us.
How come we can't go back to the days like a buddy of mine's got on CD, he has a Ronald Reagan roast. I think he was president at the time, and had all these celebrities, and they were so elegant and so. Back then, Burt Reynolds was there. Burt Reynolds was the one that the rest of them went, "Oh, come on, Burt, you're just out of control." And even the young people listening to this going, "Who are these people he's talking about?" But they didn't. Everything was in good spirits, and nobody got stupid. Nowadays, can you imagine a Ronald Reagan roast with these retards we got out here?
Oh, no, not at all.
They are so self-righteous, so vicious, it's not even funny.
Very true.
Okay, if you have nothing else,
You know who?
because
You know who else is vicious?
Sid,
Well, he is, but no, this person.
well, he's dead.
This person in this nice short story I have for you, real quick.
Is this the weird news?
It is the
All right.
weird news. No, this is horrible what this person is doing. A bizarre mystery has gripped a neighborhood in New Jersey as residents say that some mischievous individual has been leaving pickles all over the place.
Oh my gosh, the horror.
According to a local media report, the strangeness began in the town of Bound Brook a few months ago when people began noticing gherkins appearing in their yards and driveways. However, it wasn't until recently that homeowners began comparing stories and realized that there was a pickle prankster afoot. I've seen large pickles smooshed in the street. I've had pickles in my yard, declared resident Jill Sopos. lamenting that everybody gets pickled. It's crazy. Her gherkin concerns were echoed by Lynn Johnson, who was initially confused by the cucumber in her yard until she was clued in to the caper unfolding in the community. I shared my story with neighbors, she said, and they mentioned that our neighborhood was getting pickled. I just couldn't believe it.
You know them better. If the mad pickler had a spray painted them dark brown.
What?
You heard me.
A spray pan in a dark brown?
No, he spray painted them dark brown.
Oh. No, that's when you use Baby Ruth.
It reminds me of that mountain lion issue you had.
Yes, very true. Maybe that's what the mountain lion did. Threw Baby Ruth out there just to mess with me. No, but this story I thought was funny because when I was reading it, I was like, oh, well, that's weird. And then it came to me, wasn't there a story like this maybe a year or two ago where somebody was leaving pies on people's cars?
I think we covered it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did do it on the show. And I don't think it was in the same town, but it was like they couldn't figure out who was going around town. They'd like leave them on their mailboxes and on their cars and on their front steps, and it was just pie.
As a mathematician.
Apparently. 3.14. Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was funny. We got so much heavy stuff going on these days. We kind of like to try to leave you with something a little funny at the end of the show.
Well, look here, folks. We're going to have speaking of pickle, we're in a pickle for next week.
We are a little bit in a pickle.
It seems that Sasquatch is going to tie the knot with Hot Nursey.
Well, that's not next week. That's Saturday. The next week I will be on my honeymoon.
Where do you go for a honeymoon when you live in Southern California?
Well, we haven't figured that out yet, even though it's 7 days away.
Wow.
No, here's the deal. We are going to go on a nice honeymoon in a few months. Well, actually, probably about a year from now. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but right now we're going to just take a small sort of couple-day getaway, probably go down to the beach somewhere, hang out.
I would suggest going to Knott's Berry Farm.
It's not open yet.
What?
Nope, they ain't open yet.
What kind of communist crap is that?
I did, however, just plant my boysenberry plant from Knott's Berry Farm in the backyard, so I'm going to have boysenberries out my ears pretty soon.
Oh, that's going to be great. Hey, can I order one from here?
You can, but I don't think they ship them because you got to go pick them up.
Well, that's bull stuff. Anyway, so it's just heads up, people. But if you get right down to it, if you listen to the articles we had today and the last week, and probably next week if there is a next week, this country is falling apart. They're trying to burn it down faster than I've ever seen anything. So, Sass, it seems that there's a possibility that we're doomed. So what should we do?
Same as we always do. Drink up.
Good night, everybody.